GMA Channel 5, Abuja. My name is Nneka Igwe. This is your best breakfast show on the planet. Yes, you heard me right. And Abuja is becoming breezy and cool. The rains are upon us, and I am just loving the weather right here in Nigeria's capital city. I hope today is going to be a wonderful one where we all achieve our set target. For now, let's get the show started with our motivational segment. Coach Simeon Obong is standing by.
Why are people falling for chatbots? We live in a world where loneliness is creeping into people's lives more than ever. Social media makes us feel connected, but deep inside, we know a lot of people feel more isolated than ever. Making friends as an adult is tough, dating is exhausting, and sometimes people just want someone to listen without judgment, without expectation, just pure comforting presence. AI chatbots are filling an emotional gap, but they do not and they shouldn't replace real human connections. If we want to break these strains of AI relationships, we need to focus on strengthening human bonds in meaningful ways. Now, here is how. One, we need to create more opportunities for human interaction. Many people turn to AI because real life social interactions feel scarce. We need more spaces where genuine connections can grow. Go out there, talk to a friend, talk to a stranger. I know it's very hard now for people to talk to strangers because of the way the world is. But go to social clubs. People can bond naturally from those places. Offices should have a team building activities that encourages social interactions, not just work and work and work. I know scrolling through AI chatbots sometimes it's difficult to let go.
Thank you very much, Coach Simeon Ubong. And let's get to our exercise corner. An active body is a very healthy body. Get up and let us go.
Exactly. All right, so if you need a little warm up before you get started, be sure to stretch.
Now.
Otherwise, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
All right, guys, we're gonna get started in about 20 seconds. So I will show on the screen what will be the next exercise as we go.
Yep, our first exercise is gonna be a high knee. So remember, if you're watching me, I will be providing the modifications for all the exercise.
Yep.
All right, so getting started with the high knee in 5 seconds.
Yep. And go.
All right, so if you're following me, we're still doing high knees, just marching a little slower, trying to drive our knee up as high as we can.
Yep. Big arms. All right, next exercise, we're gonna go into a skip, 2, 1. Nice little bounce.
All right, so if you're following me, very similar to a high knee, just adding a bounce at the bottom.
Yep.
Good, try to still drive that knee up as high as you can.
Yep. All right, next exercise, we're gonna do a squat to jack. 3, 2, 1.
All right, if you're following me, we're taking the squat out.
All right, moving on. Let's help you gain clarity for the day. Quotes have this ability to just set your focus straight once again. Take a look at the quotes for the day. there you have them. Words on marble, quotes on life. Up next, we'll take a break and we'll bring you a feature on how to transform trash into treasures. Welcome back, and to help me buttress more on how we can actually turn trash into treasure or waste into wealth, I have with me an entrepreneur who will help me to buttress further on this topic. Let's welcome Abdullahi Suleiman Ijing.
Thank you very much.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me for this program.
It's a pleasure. Now tell me, what inspired you to go into this line of business?
The recycling sector is an area that has been underestimated by a lot of people, especially here in Africa. I grew up in a community where plastic waste was a major issue. Whenever there's little rain, everywhere gets flooded. In our community then, you see young children getting malaria, getting typhoid. Their homes becomes flooded. So as I grew up, I began to think of ways I can actually solve this problem. And after my university education, I was able to partner with a company in Lagos to see how we can annex this waste from our environment to generate wealth from them. And since we started our operation, we have been able to do just that. So this is one of the primary reasons why I started recycling.
How would you define in a layman's term trash to treasure, waste to wealth? How would you define it?
Trash to wealth or trash to treasure literally means, converting what other people see as discarded material into a source of revenue, into a source of livelihood for individuals and communities. For instance, in my company today, we have individuals who rely basically on trash to earn a living. The waste they generate from their homes, from their workplace, they bring them to our site. And this has become a steady stream of revenue for them and their family. So trash to wealth basically just means converting your waste into resources, into revenue, into money.
Yeah. Now, how do you collect this trash, sort them out, and then process them? And what particular kind of trash do you focus on?
First of all, the way we collect this trash, we partnered with schools, we partnered with hotels, we partnered with market women. As well, we have aggregators who we trained and partnered with for them to go to the community, to go to areas to pick up this waste, in surrounding. So on daily basis, we receive this waste from them and we pay them. They don't just bring them for free. So we pay them for bringing their waste. It's more like we're empowering people from the trash they generate. So the area we focus on in our company is PET bottles. So for those who don't know what PET bottles are, PET bottles are your Coca-Cola bottles, your bottled water bottles. So if you notice, this kind of bottles are, the most commonly found in our environment. They possess the highest, risk to our drainages, to waterways, and all of that. And that is why we're deliberate into going into this sector. So we collect PET bottles, we collect HDPEs, all these are plastics. So we collect them, and we have women in our companies where we trained to teach them how to sort these materials. So after they sort them, we have machine in place that build these plastics before we load them to manufacturing companies.
Okay, so you basically concentrate on non-biodegradables.
Yes, those that are very, very difficult to degrade over time. Yeah.
Tell me about some of the technologies that you leverage, and some of the processes that this these PET bottles will actually undergo before they can become resourceful again.
We partnered with a company in Lagos where we utilize a mobile application that helps us to track our collection. So it helps us track our collection. It helps us also to, track those supplying these bottles to us so that we can serve them better, so that we can encourage them. So incorporating this technology into our system has made our work easier. That has made it easier for people to connect directly with us. They don't even need to come to our site to find us. They can just send us a message via the mobile app, and we'll reach out to them and tell them which. So these bottles, after they've been collected and processed, right, they are taken to manufacturing companies overseas where they are turned into textile. Some of these plastics are turned into shoes. Some of them are renewed into new plastics. So a lot of things are done with these plastic bottles. So I want Nigerians to begin to see value in this thing they call waste. It's no longer waste. You're holding money and you're discarding it. So when you bring them to companies like ours, for instance, we empower you from that waste. So instead of discarding that, we pay you for it. So it's a win-win situation for our company,
everyone.
for everybody, for Nigerians, and for those supplying to us.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know that every good venture will not be without difficulties. What are some of the challenges that you have faced and how you overcome them?
When we started newly, the challenges we faced was how to get these materials in numbers, because we were deliberate to ending plastic waste pollution. So one of the challenges we faced was how can we get these plastics in their numbers? Because we have to go with our vehicles. So if you're fueling your vehicle and you're not getting these plastics the way you want it will be a loss. The company won't survive. The industry won't survive. So what we did was we partnered with schools. We partnered with aggregators. The aggregators bringing this waste to us. We made sure we trained them. We made them understand that what they are doing is actually adding value to our country. Because some of their grievances then was people look down on them. So I'm actually referring to the scavengers.
Oh, wow.
The waste pickers. Many people see them as criminals. So they're just doing the work. They're just trying to survive. So we train them. We empower them with hand gloves, with safety wear, safety kits, and we give them some equipment as well, so that they will look professional in the community, so that people won't look down on them and think they are just criminals. You understand? So we're also trying to give them identity card, so that they will be official and they will stand out from others, and people won't see them as. So those were the challenges we faced, and we're able to overcome that through our partnership with them, through these trainings we had with them. And today.
Wow, interesting. It's becoming an industry.
Yes, becoming an industry.
Very, very interesting. Yeah. Now, how do you collaborate with stakeholders, such as government agencies, NGOs, private companies, and what is your vision for the future?
We've been able to collaborate with the government through partnering with them in terms of training capacity, so they can help us train our staffs to become, better recyclers, better waste pickers, better sorters. NGOs who have partnered with various NGOs and companies, private industries especially, for them to, help us get this waste we need in numbers as well. So going forward, we want to diversify our work. we want to go into doing stuffs in our company. Aside from just the sorting and baling, we want to go into converting these plastics into bricks, eco-friendly bricks, into different materials that could be used in our community. Right, so we're looking at that area as well.
Nice. Thank you for coming. But before you go,
Yeah.
I want you to talk to the average Nigerians out there. How they can begin to play their roles and actually earn money from this scheme.
To Nigerians out there, this waste you see is no longer waste. What you throw away in your backyard, in your dustbin, is now what some people earn as a source of livelihood. Our aggregators supplying waste to us earn approximately 500,000 daily. These people you call scavengers, these people you call waste pickers, they are earning money on daily basis. Now we have lots of youth unemployment out there. You don't have to be shy about anything. You're doing a business. You're saving your country from pollution. You're saving your country from unhealthy environment. You're saving your country from, diseases. So I am encouraging Nigeria, especially the youth, especially those who are crying about unemployment, to go into this sector. Believe me, you will not regret it. This is my message to Nigerian youth and Nigerians. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the program, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you very
Well, what
much.
more can I say? Let me take a cue from him there. Playing your role in turning trash to treasure, waste to wealth is actually you being sensitive to your environment, contributing to a better humanity. What more can I say there? Stay with us. We'll take another short break. When we come back, there's a whole lot more.
Eyes for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to your weekly guide, Light of Islam. I am Aisha Ahmed.
As Muslims, we know that in Islam, time is a very good and important commodity that we have.
Believe in the angels of God as one of the 6 articles of faith.
Qama is a main form rows, and how the rows are made is such that the Imam stands in front and then right behind him.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Light of Islam. Keep watching Light of Islam, NTA channel.
That is for zakah, to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need.
It is so good to know that you are still there. Up next on my agenda for today is a very interesting discussion. This discussion is going to center around child development. And I have a very interesting guest with me in the studio. She's a child development advocate, social impact entrepreneur, and the founder of Boom Kiddies Festival. Let's meet and greet Myla Deborah Ajakaye. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, ma'am. Good morning, viewers, and it's nice to be here.
It is so nice to have you here.
Yeah. It's such a wonderful, wonderful experience being here, talking about the work we do with children.
Speaking of which, tell me what inspired you to go into this line of career in the first place.
Okay, first of all, I always had the concerns about the kind of or the character of children that we're raising in this generation, this AI generation.
Okay.
So parents are busy, trying to make ends meet, and responsibilities are shifting. So they don't give as much attention to their children as much as they should. Of course, you wouldn't blame them. So the children are left at the mercies of screen time, nannies and all of that, and schools. Okay, and you and I know that we cannot raise holistic children under such environment. So I just thought that we should do something more. Okay, and then I remembered when we were kids, we had a lot of freedom. We could play with the sun, we could go to the streams, we had a lot of things that shaped who we became today. But in this day and time, a lot of things has changed, and parents are caging their kids, and they are left at the mercy of screen time, nannies, and schools. And that is really not enough to raise holistic children. And that is why I thought, okay, so what do we do? After thinking of the problem, you need to think of the solution. And then in the course of thinking about the solution, and then I came up with the Boom Kiddies Festival brand. So Boom Kiddies Festival brand is an event brand that caters to the needs of children. We focus on family bonding. So we create experiences through our events that bring children together to connect, network, and bond with their age mates and also their family as a whole. So that's really what this is all about.
Amazing, very amazing stuff. Now, if a child indulges in Boom Kiddies festivals all year long, well, what are some of the benefits that they stand to gain?
Well, we've seen a lot of improvements on their social lives. Yes, because some of the kids that maybe like from our first edition, when they came, some of them are still reserved or into their cocoon. But as they keep coming subsequently and they keep interacting with us, they build trust. And you can see them evolving. You can see some of them trying to help us with one or two things. Some of them trying to say, Ma, I can do this. Some of them, Sir, I can do this. So when we build on those skills, you see that they become better. They are shining. And they're even telling you when they come again, they say, when we went back from the last event, we created a dance group in our home. And every evening before we sleep, we dance. I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. So it's bringing out something that's beyond their current experience. And that's really what we're passionate about. Irrespective of where life has placed you, you can actually make beautiful memories out of, them. Childhood is meant to be fun. And it's a one-off thing. You don't get opportunity to come back to it.
You don't get to be a child
again. Do you understand? Ever. So we feel just being a child, you deserve the opportunity, the tool, and even the environment to flourish as you go through life. Because your experiences as a child is what will usually form your character as an adult. So if we want to have a better world, we need to focus on the children because that's what the foundation is. So what a child was not able to develop or build from a tender age, you don't expect that from the child as an adult. They say garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage out.
So that's why we're trying to focus on these little ones. There's a whole lot of things to, about children, a whole lot of things. If you give them the opportunity, you see a lot of beautiful things come out of them. Things that even help you as an adult. I've always loved children. If I used to say I'm a child in an adult skin, I'm a child just maybe grown up, so I've always loved them because they are so pure. There's a lot of purity around children. And if you spend time with them, you'll see beauty. You'll see life in a different way. So I've always, loved having things to do with children. In fact, back then, when I had not defined it, I used to think, okay, should I be a teacher? Should I be, okay, maybe let me go. I'd volunteered in schools without payment just because I really want to interact with them. So I've always, loved being around them. And then as time goes by, when I started having kids, I think started helping me to begin to understand that I have a calling with children. And that's how come I was able to define it to a brand called Boom Kiddies Festival.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on the part about children being really pure spirits. It's always refreshing. I've been a children's producer for over 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
So I know. And I also know that working with children is not always a walk in the park.
Oh, no, it's not.
It is not always a cup of tea. So how do you handle really difficult children and the ones from diverse backgrounds, different cultural orientation, just to make sure that they are blending in well with the rest of
and our event is a very interesting one. So we bring the privileged ones and the less privileged ones
together.
So we just create a platform for everybody to come. So there's that disparity between the two groups, because sometimes in quotes, privileged ones are all spoiled, they don't even understand certain parts of life, and these ones are all,
Disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be careful with the kind of words I use on them, and they don't even know what is happening here. So when you bring them, you watch them to see, okay, what's happening between these two. So we teach this other group that there's life beyond their situation. And we teach this other group, you have to be grateful for where you are. You need to learn empathy. There are people who don't have as much opportunity as you do. So it kind of humbles some of them. And on the other divide, it builds their hope. Like, oh, there's something better outside of where I am. There is a better life out there. So it helps them. Yes, it makes them inspired to be, something great so that they could, have this kind of freedom or this kind of opportunity that these other ones have.
Yes. I'm having a really nice time discussing with you. But at this point, we will take a short break. When we come back, there's a whole lot more into this discussion. Stay with us.
Eyes for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to your weekly guide, Light of Islam. I am Aisha Ahmed.
As Muslims, we know that in Islam, time is a very good and important commodity that we have.
Believe in the angels of God as one of the 6 articles of faith.
Sama is made in form rows, and how the rows are made is such that the Imam stands in front, and then right behind him.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Light of Islam. Keep watching Light of Islam, NTA channel.
That is for zakah, to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need.
Alright, welcome back. I still have with me the child advocate specialist and social impact entrepreneur, Mila Deborah Ajakaye. Alright, now tell me, has the influx of the technology and social media platforms, have they in any way influenced or boosted what you do?
Yes, to a very large extent. Because if without the social media or the technology, a lot of people would not even know what we're doing. It's like saying a man winking at a beautiful girl in the dark. She wouldn't see you.
No visibility.
She wouldn't even know you're there, So, but with the help of social media and technology, it's able to put us out there, because we do a lot of things behind the scenes, and if we're not visible, nobody knows, that okay, something like this even exists. So with technology, it has helped us to be able to reach out to more people. Even sometimes the people call us to say, okay, there's this orphanage home close to my house. Have you heard about it? So, but if we're not out there, they wouldn't even know that something like this existed, and they may never be able to reach out to us. So social media especially gives us a lot of visibility. So when you go to our social media handles, you get to see 1 or 2 things that we've done, and we've gotten
feedback.
We've gotten feedback. We've even gotten some level of sponsorship from that. Even though it's still a little, but we're still very grateful for it. So we've just been doing everything is self-sponsored. So but putting it out there, gives people the opportunity to see what you're doing and how they can get involved. Another way social media has helped us is when we're soliciting for donations of maybe neatly used clothes, shoes, bags, water bottles, cutleries, and everything like that. We use social media to reach out to people. And you see people sending things for the children. We have people sending furnitures, like basic things that they give. So we have, based on the need analysis we do, we send out the things we need. And people reach out to us. through social media. Without technology, I mean, how can we start reaching everybody one by one to say, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what these children here need? It will be so difficult, if not impossible. But with technology, social media and all of that, it has helped us a lot to reach a lot more people, even outside our vicinity, which is Abuja. We have people even internationally that are connected to us, give us feedback, that just spur us on.
Finally, before you go, and let it also be as part of your advice, I know you're interested in family bonding and parental engagement. Yes. How do you go about this, and what is your word to the parents out there?
Okay, I'll have to go back to the story, the why we started this. Like I said, by the time we examined and saw that a lot of children are really neglected. This time around, not even the less privileged children, but even the privileged ones. Because parents are busy and everybody's trying to make ends meet. Bills to pay, school fees. In fact, some parents are even more interested in paying, taking their kids to a very expensive school than looking at their psychological, social, emotional needs. So that was where we started from. So looking at that, we're actually trying to bridge the gap. Your child does not need an expensive school, in quotes, alone. Those toys you buy for them, they break. Those expensive clothes, they fade out, or the kids outgrow them. There is no impact on them. Even those screen times, it just overstimulates their brain sometimes. You understand? So children's, when the child is overexposed to screen time, it overstimulates them. So that is not really what children need. Children need time with their parent. Physical. That bond, yes. Spend time with your child. Ask questions. Laugh with them. Tickle them. Do you know that alone can change the narrative of your child's educational performance? Much more than just buying them toys and you're not there. Or taking them to expensive schools and you're not there. Or leaving them to the care of nannies and you're not there. You don't even know what your child is going through. Your child is growing up to become a stranger to you.
Thank you so much for
bridge
coming.
all of that, and that's where we're here. So our event creates that, gap. Space. So when you are in our space, you get to know your child more. You get to blend in, you get to play, you get to discover. Some parents discover a new part of their child they have never seen or they never knew during our event.
Wow.
Because when we give them space to come and express themselves, we're like, oh, even me, I'm shocked. I didn't know my child could do this. That's simply because you've not had time with that child. And we're so happy that when you come to our event and you discover that, it gives us joy because that's really what we are out for.
Thank you so much for coming and keep up the good work.
Thank you so
much. We'll definitely be seeing you again here.
Yes, sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I've been speaking with Mila Deborah Ajakari, a child development advocate and a social impact entrepreneur. I learned a whole lot and I hope I can say the same for you. Stay with us. After the short break, Good Morning Abuja will continue.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
With the peace and blessings of Allah be upon each and every one of us. It's another fantastic Friday evening, and you're welcome to NTA Channel 5 Abuja.
First of all, you train yourself, you educate yourself, then you educate your family, and then the community at large.
Fundamentals of Islam Live, showing 7:30 p.m. every Friday on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. Join us.
Welcome back, and it's so good to know that you are still with us. Well, if you're a regular on the show every Friday, you will know that we bring you one of the fastest rising or trending comedy series in the name of Compound Matter every Friday, where guess what? I have with me in the studio right now the brain and the magic fingers behind the comedy skit Compound Matter. Please help me welcome the incredibly talented comedy skit maker known as Orally Comedian. Drum rolls.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to be here. It's my pleasure.
So what inspired, your ideas in the first place, and how did you get into making comedy skits?
Actually, I'm a stand-up comedian. I do comedy and event MC. I host event host. Okay, so at the time I discovered that the skits making has been making wave actually, and I've had that. While growing up, I've had that talent of storytelling right from my childhood. When I was in primary school, then I would write a story. I can draw a picture of people in depicting the story I want to tell. So after drawing the picture, I would just write the story, or that may be about father and son, or mother and son, maybe going to the market. I'll tell the story on that. So I've had that in me from my childhood. But when I discovered that skit making is really making the wave, and I decided to dive into skit making. Although when I started, it was not with Compound Matters. I started with Ororo community. Okay. Ororo community, what I do, I have this page. I usually get news every day.
Okay.
So when the news drops, I will just pick some funny news in that news. I will pick one of them and use the story to do Compound Matter. No, to do Ororo community. Now the Ororo community, I dress like a Niger Delta person with wrapper tied on and a singlet and my hat with a gong. So I was more like a town crier.
Okay.
So I looked for a particular village setting where when you see that setting, you know this is a village. So that's what I usually make use of. I'll go there, hit my gong somewhere at